Greetings and good day, and welcome to the Journey Across the Arc, the podcast that showcases the people and services provided by the Arc Allegany-Steuben. I'm your host, Gregory DeGraff. Joining me today for our first episode is Kristen Babbitt, who is in charge of our Self-Advocacy program. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. My name is Kristen Babbitt. My official title is Community Relations Coordinator and Self-Advocacy Advisor. I've been with the ARC for 10 years this August, and I started out in community rehabilitation and rec club and did self-advocacy years ago. So it's really nice to come back home and stretch my legs into this position again. I did day hab for a few years, residential, vocational education, all of which you will learn more about from those experts. So good morning, Gregory. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So can you tell us a bit more about the self-advocacy program, like what it is, what it's for?
So first we should define self-advocacy. Self-advocacy is basically sticking up for yourself and those around you, people who may not have a voice, and learning how to use your voice and raise it together and in sync. So to do that, we meet once a week via Zoom for our Incredible Voice Self-Advocacy group. And that consists of Steuben and Allegheny County residents who have disabilities, caregivers, parents, anybody who would like to learn how to advocate more. We participate in the Art of Advocacy program made by Max Donatelli and BJ Stagio, which shows people how to advocate more by creating a guideline. We have different color bracelets that, did you know they were modeled off of karate, the different level belts?
And so, but I'm guessing the color order is a bit different.
Same color order for levels. Start out with white and
then yellow, then
green.
orange, green, so
Yep.
on. And onto black?
Yeah, onto black. Speaking of black, I actually last month was awarded my black band for Art of Advocacy, and that's expert level. Presented to me by Max Donatelli and BJ Stagio, the creators, they're co-creators. If you ever get a chance to meet them, I definitely recommend it. BJ's a hoot. He says Art of Advocacy came to him during COVID, and he saw it on the wall, and that was his vision. And to hear him tell the story is great. I love it. So Incredible Voice is a group of individuals, mostly, who get together. We have people from New Jersey, New York City, Buffalo, Rochester area, our areas. We have staff that join, staff from different programs. And we've also helped to train other ARCs to start self-advocacy groups. So our grassroots organization is cutting edge and paving the way for others, which makes me very proud.
That's very good. So what makes self-advocacy different from other programs and services that are in a similar vein?
Well, for one, it's free. You do not have to receive services from us to be in the group.
That is a good benefit.
Exactly.
Especially in this day and age.
Yes. We have a lot of people who are self-directed, which is a great program also, that join our group. Like I said, we have people that don't even live in our county that join. They just have disabilities, and they want to come in and meet people and form those bonds and learn how to speak up with each other. And having people from all different walks of life, different areas, is absolutely great, because then our advocates get to meet people from other areas. And we get special guest speakers every week, or try to every week. Sometimes we discuss updates to different advocacy and rights and responsibilities. It's so much fun. I have been able to get Temple Grandin on, and she is a hoot. She's very straightforward. She knows her stuff. I got to see her talk in person and meet her a couple months ago. But last year, yeah, we had Temple Grandin, and 3 weeks ago, we had Bernard Carabello, and he was a resident of Willowbrook from age 3 to 21. Basically, his parents dropped him off and left him there. And then Geraldo Rivera came in and did an expose. He was tipped off that the living conditions at Willowbrook were, you wouldn't want your dog living in there. It was so sad to watch it. So if you want to learn more about that and Geraldo and Bernard, look up Willowbrook, The Last Great Disgrace. It was made in 1972. You'll see the iconic 70s mustache on Geraldo that he still sports. Yeah, you've got the cooler handlebar mustache. He's just got that regular 70s stash that was happening back in the day.
Yeah.
Yours is much cooler, Gregory. And then we watched that in Art of Advocacy too. And then there's The Path Forward, Remembering Willowbrook, so it's a look back. And then we also watch Crip Camp, which is the disability revolution. And it chronicles the very first camp for people with disabilities. Absolutely hilarious. Talking about people getting away from home for the first time and they taste that freedom just like any other teenager and adult. And then they go wild a little bit. It's pretty funny. And then it leads to the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, spearheaded by Judy Heumann. That was passed in 1990 by George H.W. Bush. And the anniversary is coming up, July 26th.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it.
So what are the main goals of the self-advocacy program?
The main goals, and this is according to our group because they vote. We've come a long way since the ADA was passed, but we want to go further. As my good friend BJ Saggio said, the world isn't ready for us, but we are ready for the world. So that's what we need to do. I'm helping to teach our advocates how to speak louder in constructive ways and not just yelling at people or raising signs they don't understand, but actually knowing what they're going to say, being prepared ahead of time, and going in there with the knowledge to make these changes. And the want is there, the need is there. So that's what self-advocacy is, learning how to stick up for yourself and others in a constructive way.
Okay. How would you personally define success for this program?
That one's hard. Success means so many different things to so many people. Like for some of our advocates, just saying no is success. Learning how to say no. Learning how to speak in public, even if it's 1 or 2 words. We actually had one of our advocates give a speech at our annual dinner for ARC, and she killed it. Like it was the first time she had done it. And I was so proud of her, and she felt so accomplished. So it depends on the person of what success is. Like as the advisor, my idea of success is being on the front lines to help make changes to the ADA, to enhance it, to make it better, to fit the world we live in now. But somebody else's idea of success may just to be walking down the street alone, living on their own, which we help advocate for, going grocery shopping alone, anything, getting a library card, things we take for granted that other people, like that's their goal.
All right. Now, you already mentioned like the movies you have people watch, but what other teaching methods or tools do you use to help people with self-advocacy, speaking up, saying no?
Other advocates. That's the biggest tool we can use. Other advocates from all across the country. And I've gotten the privilege of meeting a lot of advocates from across the country and being able to see.
You mentioned Temple Grandin.
Yes, Temple Grandin and Bernard and so many others. But other advocates. That's our biggest tool, I think. But we also do role playing, real life situations, like what would you do if this popped up, and practice those. So it's a lot of fun. Sometimes we get goofy with it. Like, what would you do if somebody just come up and, did a prank on you and was like, ah, are you going to run away? Are you going to tell them to stop? Are you going to, punch
If
them?
I had the courage, I'd probably prank them right back.
Yes. Yes. And that's advocacy. Knowing your worth and being like, okay, this is funny. Now I'm going to get you back.
Good. So, aside from all the stuff you've already mentioned, how are people with disabilities helping shaping the program?
They're showing people without disabilities that they're just the same. They have the same wants, needs, desires. They want to live on their own, have a family, have a job. And they're breaking down those barriers just by being in the community and participating in events everybody else does, dances, music on the lawn here in Wellsville on Thursdays. That's getting out there and doing stuff. Just saying, we're here, don't be afraid. You believe some people are still afraid with people with disabilities? Isn't that crazy? In 2025.
That is very crazy.
Yeah. What would you do if somebody was like, hey, because you have a disability or you have a disability, I'm afraid of you. I don't want to be around you. Because I've seen it happen. People scurry off.
It would definitely be a blow to my ego.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see the appeal in learning not to let those sorts of things get to you.
Yeah. Trying to teach those are teachable moments instead of reinforcing their already deep ingrained beliefs. Maybe that fear has been passed on from their parents or life experiences, but it's a teachable moment. Instead of getting offended, you say, okay, they don't know any better. Let me teach them.
All right, while we're on the subject, what do you wish more people understood about self-advocacy and people with disabilities?
It's a rough road. It's hard. So many barriers to break down. And I personally don't know exactly what my advocates go through because I don't have disabilities like they do. So I can only sit here and teach from my perspective and helping them enhance their skills, whatever way they feel comfortable with. So we're all learning together, which is the greatest thing we can have.
That's very good. Are there any sort of challenges you wish to, or misconceptions you wish to challenge?
Mental health.
Yeah, that
Mental
is
health.
definitely a big one.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that people with disabilities can have mental health disorders. It's called dually diagnosed with IDD and some type of mental health disorders. And there's not enough doctors out there who can treat or will treat people with disabilities. And a lot of people think that just because they have a disability, they can have mental health disorders, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, anything like that. When in fact, they can and do, just people blame it on their behaviors. Like, oh, you have a disability, you're acting that way because you're having a behavior.
Yeah, that's very dismissive.
Right. If I sit there and I get mad about something, somebody's going to ask me, oh, why are you upset? Why are you depressed? They don't ask people with disabilities that. Why? Why not?
Because they just assume it's on the disability.
Exactly. They're assuming that their disability is what's wrong with them. And let me just add, nothing's wrong with people with disabilities.
Nope, absolutely nothing. As someone with autism myself, I definitely know that.
Exactly. You're a genius when it comes to all of the computer stuff, like we couldn't do any of this without you. And then we have an advocate who makes jewelry and wants to sell it. And she's so talented. We have people whose goal is to work at Burger King. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
We have another person who wants to work in a library. Another one that wants to work with kids. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're just like everybody else. There's nothing wrong with them.
Nope, nothing
Do
wrong.
some people face more challenges than others? Absolutely. But so do we.
All right. So,
Sorry, I tend to get passionate.
no, that's perfectly fine. That's the whole point of a podcast format. You can go off if you want to. So how can the listeners of this podcast help support or get in contact with your self-advocacy program?
Well, my self-advocacy phone number is 585-808-7907. You're welcome to call me with questions, or if you want to help plan something or come join us for some of our activities. We do biannual cleanups, highway cleanups. We do get-togethers. We're planning a concert. Yeah, from one of our good friends, Matt Sassano. He's from this area. He's a Christian rock artist, and he's agreed to come. But if you want to get involved, just come get involved. Join us in the fight. We need more voices. That's why we like calling ourselves the Incredible Voice, because our voices are incredible, especially when we have more than one. 2 voices are louder than 1. 10 voices are louder than 2. So, you want to join a meeting? Go ahead and call me. My email is also kristen.babbitt@thearcas.org. And how to spell my name is right there. KRISTEN.BABBITT@thearcas.org. And I can send you a link to join our meetings. They're a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Kristen.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for listening to the first episode of Journey Across the Arc. Again, like Kristen said, if you want to get involved, make sure you can either text or call 585-808-7907. My bad.
It took me like 2 months to get used to that phone number. I kept trying to give out my personal cell phone.
Yeah, I can get that. Anyway, you can also check out the ARC's website. I'll make sure to display that in video format. So apologies to you audio-only listeners.
We also have on YouTube are my stories.
That's the one I do also. That I actually edit, and you can check those out as well. So make sure to subscribe to that YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next episode. Farewell.